Good morning. Happy Labor Day, a day in which we celebrate in America and Canada the accomplishments of the American and Canadian laborers. Laborers? Yeah, laborers. So, here we are. The post office is closed. The stock market is closed. But do we close here on the Silverhairstacker show? No, I say no. There's the link if anybody wants to come in and chat. So, yeah, long weekend. We got a little rain this morning. Little rain. It's rained quite a lot the last 3 weeks. And it's almost like flooding again in Dallas. I think parts of it did flood again. Morning, Mark. Morning, Bumcrack. Morning, Scott. Cough, cough. It's like, wait, it's like someone upset the atmospheric conditions with a bunch of smoke. You must have watched my video.
I sat there thinking, I can't believe I'm watching somebody for 25 minutes cut grass. And then the smoke kept coming, and I'm like, I can't stop watching because I want to see if the lawnmower dies. I want to see if the fire department shows up.
Did you see my neighbors come out and check on me?
Oh yeah, they looked at you, definitely looked at you with haughty derision.
two of that two of that group that came out are volunteer firemen with our town here. Oh my God.
I'm like, he is. When you're sitting there reading it, and it's like it's guaranteed to start. I'm like, he's putting the curse of death on this machine. And he just started yanking it. I'm like, why do you say it's guaranteed to start?
Okay, what happened was I didn't tell this in the video. The cable that pulls the thing on the side of the engine, I mean it's a basically a dead man switch. If you let go of the handlebar thing, the engine dies.
Right. That means you have to hold the little thing to make it work. Make it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the little clip that holds that wire in place, I don't know how, but it had gotten knocked off. So I was sitting there yanking on the mower, and it wasn't going to start because the lever on the side of the mower was still in the shutdown position. I was sitting there yanking, and it's
So
harder to it's harder to pull when it's in that position too.
what'd you do? Go get another coat hanger and stick on the lawnmower?
No, I just actually put that cable back into the clip that it had popped out of, and but in the meantime, I thought, man, this mower's got to be low on oil or something because it was so hard to pull. I thought, man, maybe it's just not getting enough lubrication.
Okay. You know they make a thing called a dipstick.
Yeah, I know. I can never read those things.
The lawnmowers are so short anyway, and you got to have reading glasses to see it. It's
Yeah.
black. The oil's black. Yeah, I understand. It's
So, but did I stop and empty out some of the oil? No, I just kept going. I'm stubborn like that. Gwen came out there. Are you, what? Are you okay? The whole neighborhood's gonna, the fire department. I was like,
that's the part you need to put in the video.
oh,
Even if you got to put a little smiley thing on her so it moves around so that
yeah. It's nice to know after 37 years that the wife is still concerned about what you're doing. Anyway, nothing like following around a billowing bunch of smoke while you're cutting grass. It's an experience everyone should have.
Yeah, I'll pass. That's just seeing you do it is good enough for me.
It's incredible the goofy mistakes a person can make during their lifetime. Am I alone in this? Does anybody else do stupid, goofy things? And then
I've
have the wherewithal to catch it on video. That's the deal.
Not once have I ever done something stupid or goofy. Okay, well,
Except in Vegas.
not today. I haven't yet. That Stoofy Goofy event has been scheduled in, but it's not yet occurred today.
Like says, wife is like, time for assisted living. The old guy's losing it. Yeah.
I watched that. I kept thinking, and that's why David mows my grass.
Actually, I like the exercise. It's about the same amount of exercise as getting on the treadmill for 2 miles. So, and with mowing the yard, it's like you're actually getting something accomplished instead of just going and going and going on the treadmill. Yeah.
So I had an interesting pickup. So I wonder how many people in the chat would. So Harlan and I, there was only like 8 or 9 yard sales, and we went to one, and the lady said she had Avon and all this stuff, and I'm like, Harlan was looking through it. I was kind of disinterested. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, Harlan, come on, we got other yard sales to go to, and the lady in front of me asked, how much is this? And the lady looked at it and goes, everything off the porch is $1. That got my attention.
There you go.
So it turned out that I picked up a lot of, I picked up 33 items, some men's cologne, and a bunch of their brand called Avon. I knew all of it was sealed. And so I got it listed yesterday. I know y'all are shocked that I actually bought something and listed it in the same weekend, but yeah, it happened. I've already sold 3 of those pieces for, one guy bought 2 of them for $34 each, so that was 70, and I sold a $17.99. So I've sold $85 or $6 worth of stuff already out of the $32 worth of stuff.
Nice. I sold 2 more pair of the military boots, so
very nice.
I'm in the profit on those, and I got maybe 20 pair of boots left to sell.
So the one thing I have done, which I highly recommend, anybody that's new, most people here are not new, but you got to have some kind of inventory system. You know, Dusty and I followed it, and as long as I was the one putting stuff up, I can half remember where I stuck it. But yeah, it's gotten harder lately. So I bought some bankers boxes, and everything is going in bankers boxes. So, and you can, so if you've got like all that
small stuff.
So if you've got all that Avon that I had, right, and so I listed them all, and then I went back to and bulk edited all of them to the same custom SKU at one time, which saves a lot of time because I still haven't figured out where to do it on the app on the phone. Somebody's probably can scream at me right now, but Beard, it's just so easy on the. Yeah, I hadn't found that line yet.
I don't do hardly anything eBay on the phone.
So I've got an older, not this phone, because I get so tired of all my pictures on this phone being eBay pictures. So I have an older phone. I have a Galaxy S10 Plus that I use it just stays out here on Wi-Fi, and I list on it exclusively. It still does a good job taking pictures, even though it's 3 or 4 years old now. 4 years old.
There you go. Yeah, I got to clear out a bunch of pictures before our trip.
His sarcastic says, my co-host Glenn of Storage Man has destroyed his death pile with a golf club in a video last night.
Sweet.
That's outstanding. It would take way more than a golf club to destroy my death pile.
Mark and his buddy Glenn, they pretty much sell everything. They don't even use eBay. They just sell everything on locally, which is a great thing if you can do it. I know Steven and Steph Resale Killers used to do.
Yeah, they started out doing that a lot on marketplace and other local apps they were using.
I don't think they do anything now except make YouTube videos. They don't have to. They got like 500 bazillion subscribers. They are pretty much making a living on YouTube, right?
Like the new iPhone did not come out tomorrow. They're being announced tomorrow. There's an Apple event on the 7th. Is it tomorrow or I thought it was on the 7th? I thought it was Wednesday. They're just announcing them. They're not. They'll tell you when they're available.
iPhone 14. My 10 was the newest edition when I got it. I've only had it like
So not
2 years.
today's only the fifth lag. It's their event is on the 7th, so they'll be announced on Wednesday. So the way it normally works is they announce them on Wednesday. They're up for pre-order on Friday. So I will probably, unless they say it's a big giant turd, I will probably end up getting a new iPhone.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with it. This is a Galaxy S21 Ultra. It's a really nice phone. I really like it. It doesn't do one thing. I use InRoute exclusively for mapping, and that app is not available. So I'm going to switch to an iPhone just for one app.
Well, if you use it all the time for that, then
I use it every Friday and Saturday, and every time I leave town. And I normally have that iPad in the window. I'm trying to get away from all of that and just do everything on one phone.
is that a free app?
It has a free function to it. I pay the $25 a year or whatever it is. So $2 a month.
That's actually not much.
So they will announce it on Wednesday lag, and generally it goes on sale the following Friday, and it's generally 4 to 6 weeks out from the announcement. So it'll be last week of October, first week of November when they're available to the public. This one is, people are, I'm kind of a phone geek. This one is going to be different for iPhone, and it's going to be very interesting to see if they catch a lot of grief, because it's been rumored that, the one thing that all these phones do every year is they upgrade the chip, so you get a better chip, and so the 14 should have the newest chip over the 13, which is so to be faster and a little better on battery and can do extra stuff. They are supposedly set to announce that only the Pro models will have the new chip, and that the basic models, which is the one they sell the most of, will only have the last year's chip in it. So it's be interesting to see, because so that'll mean that the iPhone 13, you could get the 13 Pro Max, which is their big one, or and it be a better phone than the basic phone that's the 14, which is a generation newer.
Yeah, I don't keep up with them much. Whenever the phone I have wears out, that's when I get a new one. And I started selling with like a iPhone 4. Then I went to a 6. And then 10. So I've only had like three different phones since I started selling. Like, dang, how long have I been selling?
Phones do track you going everywhere. It's hard to get around. The one thing I would tell you, even if you got what they call a de-Google phone. That's the one that will track you the least, which doesn't have any Google services on it. If you make a mistake and use an app or do something, they will be able to identify that phone as and so it's extraordinarily hard to get around. They they're gonna be awful disappointed. They're tracking me and they want to know what I buy and advertising me because I don't buy anything off advertising. I could care less.
See. Hey, Sadie, how did you finish in that tournament last night?
He's probably just rich hanging out with us serfs now.
I know, man. I played in both of the tournaments that he and I played yesterday. And the first tournament, he was in first place for a very long time. Out of 1,000 players, he was in first place. And then he
What up,
gambled it all away. He made the money. He made some money, but he gambled too much toward. I don't know. I don't know how he lost, but he finished earlier than he was supposed to. And then we played another tournament. I don't know how long he stayed on that one. I went to bed.
Good morning, Mudfish.
Good morning.
You cashed at $30. Well, that's pretty good. That's like 100th place, 120th place out of probably 900 players.
How about you win, Todd?
I didn't win anything, man. I busted out before the money time came out of both tournaments.
Thanks, son.
I kept getting like a pair of aces and a pair of queens, and somebody else would have a straight. And I was like, crap.
Well,
So it's a good thing I have eBay to pay for my gambling addiction. Yeah.
So what does it cost you to enter one of those tournaments?
The first tournament was $6, and the second tournament was $11. So
that's still less than the price of a movie ticket almost.
I know. So
and you
I
have a
don't
lot.
know.
You'll have a lot more fun because half the time you spend a bunch of money to go see a movie, and you come out the movie and say, I just spent $10 to see nothing.
Yeah, and you got to buy the $7 bag of popcorn and the $4 drinks. So
Damn, Todd, when was the last time you've been to a damn movie?
oh, we went and saw what was it?
Good morning, Lag.
Crap, not
Was
Top Gun. What was the other big movie last month? God, I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah, just
So the small popcorn at AMC is either 6 or 7. The medium is 7 or 8. The large is 8 or 9, 8 to 9, depending on where you're at. If you add flavor, you're adding another 50 to 75 cents. The candies are $3.99 to $4.99. You can go to Dollar General and pick them up for $1.
yeah, and just sneak them in your purse.
A small soft drink is $5.09, Todd. So you're underestimating.
Well, AMC used to have they didn't have a food policy. And when I was doing auditing on these movies, I'd see people come in there with a damn bucket of chicken. They would stop and get them a couple of cold drinks, but they'd go off to their movie with a bucket of KFC and their AMC drinks. People come in there with McDonald's, the different fast food places. But I think they put a stop to that.
It'll be 100 and some degrees in Alabama, and they're like, "Why is everybody wearing coats to the movies? And why do they jiggle and shake whenever they walk by?" They're full of candy and anything else they can stick in their pockets.
Yeah, when our boys were little, my wife we'd go by the dollar store and pick them up those boxes of candy, for $1. That's $5 in there.
Yeah, they're still $1, $1.25 at Dollar General. And
Yeah. I just don't go to the movies. I saw more movies when I was doing the auditing than I have ever in my life because I was in the theaters every Friday night.
see, lag, it's comments like that we know you're older than us because nobody mentions Meatloaf at all. Nobody who is in a younger generation mentions doing Meatloaf anywhere or anything. See, I need to add that to the list of lag commented about Meatloaf.
Mr. Sadie, a Bud Light in each pocket.
Hey, too late now to try to throw in the moms. You done messed up, lag.
We one night I was doing an audit, and I think it was on Jarhead, which was a Marine movie or a military movie.
Yeah, I remember that
And
one.
about I went in. I had to do some like spot checks during the showing to see what people were doing. And I was walking in and I was kind of looking around at people in the dark and seeing who was watching the movie and who was chit chatting and looking on their phones and whatnot. And I heard clink, roll, 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 clink, roll. Somebody had dropped their big 40 Miller High Light at the top of the theater, and it rolled all the way down. And this one had it had stadium, and then it had a crossover that was flat, and then it dropped down to more stadium. And I stood there, and I was and one of the people that worked at the theater, she was standing beside me, and we listened for it to come down. And about the time it hit that carpeted area where you could cross from one side of the theater to the other, she ran out there and grabbed it before it started down. Later on, I found out that it had left a trail of Miller High Light all the way from the top of the theater. Leg is a 45-year-old mother of 12 in Alabama that had her first one when she was 14.
So no, we know Lag lives in Philadelphia. He's mentioned Philadelphia, living in Philadelphia. So that part's set in stone there.
Okay, then we'll move back to Philadelphia. There, theaters are places of sin.
Yeah, the theaters that 24K goes to are.
So 24K, the theaters you go to, do you like stick to the seats and is that the kind of places you're going to?
He goes those one. You remember Stuckey's on the side of the road?
Yeah, they're trying to make a comeback. That lady who was grandfather started it or whatever has been making a big push to reopen.
All those Stuckey's in Texas and Oklahoma and places, they got turned into roadside XXX movie theaters.
Why would people pay go to places like that unless they're looking for so pick up action? Because you can go on the internet and spend the night looking at it and not have to pay a damn cent.
I don't know. It amazes me they're still in business.
I think they're looking for companionship, and that makes the difference. In Charlotte, we have a place called Leather and Lace. It's a strip club. And they just celebrated like their 50th anniversary.
Wow. Probably the same girls that started with them.
Probably so.
Okay, so y'all want me to tell you one of Harlan's stories about these places?
Yeah, tell us a Harlan story.
So there's one. I think it's a video game store now, but there was one of these stores that you could buy all the adult stuff in the front of it, and it had in the very back of it had all these different rooms that you could watch videos and mess.
Right.
And I forget why Harlan was in there.
No, you didn't. You know why Harlan was in there.
No, he had a date with a girl, and they were near there, and they were like, look at all the people going in there. I think he went in there out of curiosity, but this is where it turned on him pretty quickly. So Harlan's in there wandering around, and after he finishes helping the lady, Harlan's like, what do people do in the back rooms? And the guy goes, you've never been back there? I'll give you a tour. And so he goes back and shows him there's this room, and this room. He goes, So what's different about Harlan had to ask what's different about the rooms. He goes, well, some of the rooms have holes going into the other rooms. And he said for paying $5, you can come in the back and nobody knows it. You can watch as many videos or meet up with whoever a day. And Harlan gets back out and goes and is about to leave, and the guy looks at him and told Harlan, I'll be off at 11 o'clock. If you want to come back, I'll give you a free one today.
Oh God!
Oh,
He can tell that story better than me, but I just know the guy kind of almost propositioned him to come back and be on the one side of the holes in the room. Yeah.
I can see Harlan asking that too. He has no. He's just the type of personality. What's the back room for?
See, Felix, you don't. I can tell these stories, and people understand who have listened to me for long enough understand. I would never go into. I'm an introvert in person. I would never go in those places, or even if I went in there, I would never talk to a soul because I'm kind of a wallflower that way. But Harlan, on the other hand, is an absolute extrovert.
Mr. Sadie, I was just curious to how Harlan was helping the lady.
There was a lady in there and asking. Harlan's like she's asking all kinds of questions about. She's like, why are the black ones so big and all these stupid questions, and Harlan's just kind of milling around. Yeah.
My cousin, who was the oldest of all my first cousins, she was the manager of a Radio Shack. And for those young ones like Lag, who doesn't know what a Radio Shack is, they used to sell nothing but electronics and batteries. They were the original Best Buy, so to speak. Anyway, she was the manager of one at Myrtle Beach. And this lady came in there and she said, I need some batteries and I'm not sure what size I need. And Jackie said, well, do you have the device with you? And she said, yeah. And she flipped at this box. Jackie thought she was about to get a dozen roses because it was a big long box. And she threw it up there and she opened it up. And Jackie said, first thing that came out of her mouth was, oh my, that's big. So she said, can you open it up so I can see the batteries? Because she said, I was not touching it. And so she opened it up and she says, it's D-size batteries. And how many do you need? And she says, I don't know. And she turned it up so they would come out the back of it. And it was like 8 D-size batteries.
Oh my God.
So when Jackie's telling us this at our next family reunion and we're laughing and carrying on, the jokes were, did it have a name on the side of it? Like the Pile Driver 800 or any of that kind of stuff?
That's only 6 batteries.
That's only 6 batteries.
Or 3. I'm having, and these big mag lights, it's 4. But it's only C cells.
But so Jack. See, I'm going on 65, so Jackie must be going on 80. And every time we see each other, especially all the cousins are together, we have a good laugh about that. Jackie was with Radio Shack until they closed the Myrtle Beach store. And she said they were good to her when they left. They left her with a good package. Ba-doom-ba. But, I always liked Radio Shack. I always, liked the catalogs. You'd sit there. It was like Christmas time when you got the Sears Christmas catalog. You'd sit there when when the new Radio Shack catalog came out and go through that thing to see what was new. That's when the computer was $1,800 and it had like two megs of RAM, not 2 megs of RAM, not gigs.
Yeah.
It just didn't have anything.
Yeah, that's awful there, Felix.
Roberta likes to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and that's not about race cars. That's about men dressing up as women. Uh, some of them guys,
A sawzall would get it done.
some of those guys, you just don't. You would not think they were guys. Once you get all into their garb and whatnot. But okay.
Scott's got a cricket, big ass cricket going over and on his side.
It's not here.
It's not.
It might be mine, maybe because it's drizzling
No,
rain out there.
It started before you came in, Tom.
Oh, did it?
I was muted and it didn't do any different.
Yeah, I don't hear a cricket now.
I hear it now.
Yep.
It's Scott.
It's all right. It's not loud.
Yeah. If Todd hadn't said anything, I wouldn't even noticed it.
I didn't say anything.
Now I'm gonna hear it all day till I kill it.
Lag said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even notice it, did you, Scott? It must be closer to your mic than it is to you.
It's probably under this desk. Nope. Because I live at there's trees surrounding the back of the house, and we live at the end of the street, and so I was out in the driveway doing one of the videos showing a hall portion of it, and I got a comment, somebody saying, "Did you edit in the bird sounds?" I'm like, no, I didn't edit in the bird sounds. All these creatures. Right now we have. Last night it looked like somebody was dive bombing the patio. We had 15 to 16 hummingbirds on the patio last night carrying on. If you've never watched them critters, they are so freaking fascinating.
We've been overrun with cicadas. One night they were so loud I had to turn the red TV on to kind of blare them out.
Yeah, we got a lot of crickets now. Yeah. So, Cyber, do they have Labor Day in Great Britain? Probably not. They keep them boys working all the time. Canada celebrates Labor Day same day, first Monday in September.
I was watching this video about the widest of all of the former or members of the United Kingdom. Are they the only ones that drive on the right side of the road like we do? And it's because sometime or another, the Canadian government decided it would be easy because people traveled back and forth across so easily that it would just be easier for people to start driving on the right side of the road up there instead of the left. So it's the U.S. way or no way.
I think Great Britain's right side and Ireland is still left side.
Yeah. And, the former, like in the Asian colonies, Japan and whatnot, they drive on the left side. South Korea drives on the right side like we do because we were there, we occupied them for so long.
So the right side of the world is correct. There are 163 countries and territories that drive on the right side. Only 76 drive on the left.
But you know what? When we went to Australia, we were in Sydney, and first of all, those roads are narrow over there, and we're in a big double-decker bus, and to make a right-hand turn across, the traffic, they get in the far left-hand lane, and then they make the curve across. They have turn lights for everything. They would make the turn and go all the way across in front of everybody. And I asked our tour bus driver, because we were sitting right behind him, I said, why don't they have the right turn over there on the right side of the lane? He said, 'cause that would make it too damn easy. He said, we have more wrecks because of people running into the side of cars that's making a right-hand turn.
So they make a right-hand turn from where? The left-hand side?
The far left side of the road. So, like, if you got lanes here and you're going to make a right-hand turn, well, you're not in this lane to make the right-hand turn. That's a straight-through lane. You're way over here in the right-hand side or left-hand side. So you make a curve in front of all the lanes to go to your right.
That's crazy.
What is that, Todd?
Cyber makes these. You slide a coin down them, and it tells you if it's silver or not.
Really?
So Sadie wanted to know. I don't know. Did it say how do you? I'll send Sadie the pictures. I've got his phone number.
I was watching some videos over the weekend about smelting like gold and silver, down to where you can make a coin out of it or a bar. And I was watching this one guy, and I don't know what his name was. It was just, suggestions. He said, I'm going to show you all the easiest method of converting metals into gold coins. And he switches to where he's throwing like just all kinds of metals in the back of his truck, and then he goes to a recycling center and he gets paid for it, and then he goes to a coin shop and buys a gold coin. He said that's the easiest, safest method for turning metals into gold without having to smelt them.
Vibrator slide. It's a coin slide. Yeah, you put a silver.
And how does it tell you that it's silver or not?
The neodymium magnets. Silver won't stick to magnets, but when you put them on I forget the angle it is, on a certain angle, a silver coin will slide down slower than a modern like quarter wheel.
Oh, okay.
Modern quarter will just slide off fast, and a silver coin will go down it real slow.
What I heard you say and what I typed it into Google to see what it was. There's a lot more letters in it than what I heard you say.
Diamagnetic.
So, have anything exciting going on over the weekend? Or have you already covered that?
Nothing much. I got 16 sales, so I did pretty good sales weekend.
Well, you need that money.
I do.
I know how
Except
many.
I spent it all on poker.
While you're in Europe, are you going to go to any of the casinos? Put on your tux?
Put on my tux and go to the casinos. And
sit down and play Texas Hold'em. Martini stirred, not shaken.
Quinn says no, not the casino, on souvenirs. Yeah. Yep, she's gonna go to the swanky dress shops in Milan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that dress is only 2,300 euros. Okay, how much is that in American money?
20 by 24, 2,500. They're pretty close right now.
24K says, "Can we start a GoFundMe page? I need a new watch, and I'm an orphan."
Oh my God, sure, orphan.
I tell the boys I wanted a
Mom.
a nice self-winding watch for Christmas, and they said, and I said, "I'm giving you plenty of time to save up your money." And my cheap ass son, he's like, "Well, how much are they?" Said it depends on. I said I don't want anything like a Rolex or nothing like that. A jeweler told me that is it Citizen that has a good one. It's one of those, one of those companies.
There you go. We need to GoFundMe so I can get a new mower.
What happened to your mower?
Oh, you didn't watch my
Have
video?
you not watched this video? Oh my God!
I've been gone. I've been gone just about all weekend.
It's my best video ever, and nobody's watched it hardly.
Well, I'll watch it as soon as we get off of here. I'll turn it on to my TV and watch it.
Yeah. It's one of those videos that this is just too stupid to watch, but you just keep watching it, right?
I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with reselling or gold or silver. It's just me out there.
What'd you run over?
I didn't run over anything. It's just, you have to watch it. Got your curiosity up now.
He is the cause of that thing. He caused some global warming in Texas.
Yeah, Cyber said in the comments on that video something about did the environmental police not show up and
You two stop it. God almighty, these are the moodiest cats this morning. Whoever it was that said, was it a glass chute? Oh, Roxy, for God's sake, she's getting ready to whip his ass. Excuse me. Stop it. Lay down here and stop it. I don't know what's wrong with you people.
Get a Go Watch.
Do what?
24K says get a Go Watch. They're supposed to be pretty good watches, and they're not. I mean, they're not like buying a Rolex or anything. They're reasonable, and they're German made. I put 3 quarts of oil in a 1.
Oh Jesus, Todd!
Yeah.
Were you smoking for mosquitoes?
You could at some point you couldn't even see Todd. All you could see, there was just a cloud.
And 24K, those is it glass chute? They're like $1 million.
That's a cheap watch at 24K.
You know, I have a book called The Millionaire Next Door, and it talks about, which is old, but it was talking about real millionaires, people that have really made, they've made their millions. They're more likely to wear a Timex than they are a Rolex.
Yeah, that's a very interesting book. Millionaires too. What's the number one vehicle driven by millionaires?
Toyota.
It's like Chevrolet or something like that.
F-150. It's more millionaires driving F-150 than any other vehicle.
Put that in your Texas hat and smoke it, Tara.
Hell, he's got an F-150.
Huh?
He's got one, or an F-250, whatever it is in his driveway.
Tara?
Oh, you said Tara. I thought you were talking about the Todd.
No, not the Todd. Todd's got a 250.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
it stands to reckon. It's the top selling vehicle for like the last 40 years, 45, 50 years, and it's the millionaire next door principle.
I mean, it was really unusual that and more millionaires have been made off of laundromats and mobile home parks than there have been anything else, according to that book. I have a buddy that's got I think he's got about 2,000 mobile home spaces now, just the dirt. He don't own the trailers. And stop it! Excuse me.
So Felix, the blue ones might mean you're a millionaire. I've got a gray one, and that does not mean you're a millionaire.
Shut. Go on. Yeah, I'm a you.
Don't you have a door?
No. They're just. It's been a bad night. I woke up this morning about 4 o'clock in the morning and got up to go get some water, and my right hip hurt so bad that I had to catch myself on the dresser to keep from falling in the floor. So there's my old. Shut up. Let me tell you what. If you were a big cat. Anyway, the trials and tribulations of my pussycats. How you liking your truck, Scott? You made all your money off of it?
Yeah, I only paid $8,000 for it.
It must not be one that you're going to jump off and head to Texas in. Not Texas, but California in.
It's not bad. It's a 13, 150,000 miles on a 13. It's the base model. It's not a. You don't have anything fancy on it. I don't. Hell, I just drive around Alabama, drive around town. I don't need anything super fancy.
Right.
I don't. That's the one thing I'm like. These guys are paying $80,000-$90,000 for a truck. If I pay that much for a vehicle, I'm gonna watch every scratch. I'm gonna park. Man, I don't get. It's nice having a truck, an inexpensive truck. I don't care what it goes through. The hell with it. It ain't gonna hurt it. It gets a scratch, so what?
I went into the Chevrolet dealership to get a part for my Saturn, and they had a Silverado 4-door 4-wheel drive sitting in the showroom. It was beautiful. I mean, it was really beautiful. That gray interior had every bell, buzzer, and button that Chevrolet makes on it. That thing was like $79,000 list price.
Yeah, if they take it up to the 2,500, all of a sudden you're over $100,000 on that thing.
Yeah.
There was a guy we were at an estate sale a couple months ago, and he had one of those brand new Ford, the Black Widows.
Right.
And he paid. He had every option on that Black Widow, and I think he paid $97,000 for it. I'm like, that's insane. $97,000 for a dang truck.
My dad had a Lariat, which is, their top of the line deal. And they drove it like everywhere. That was their family car. Because both of them, because it was 4-wheel drive, it would sit you up high, and they could see over traffic and whatnot in it. And it had everything. It even had a power tailgate on it.
Yeah, Mr. Sadie, you might want to ask the numbers of that. The new Denali for this year came out at 110.
Yeah, that's more than I paid for my house.
Yeah.
Yes, Toyota makes great vehicles for the rest of the world that they don't make here. The Hilux pickup truck is sold all over the world, and we don't get it here. And Toyota, the one thing that if they would ever bring them here, I think they would sell a ton of them. They sell a mid-size van, like the same size as a Sprinter van. If Toyota was here and they competed with the Ford and the Mercedes and those size vans, they would sell a ton of them.
Those what you call a Hilux?
Hilux.
They you can't kill
Nah.
them. My older son is a big. It's a British car program. There's 3 guys on it. Anyway, they had one, and they did all kinds of that stuff, and it would still keep crank up. No, it's this moisture change in the air. Cyber. But you remember the Previas, the Toyota Previas?
It looked like a little egg.
Yeah. When we were in Australia, we saw Previas everywhere.
They're built on the, they don't die because they're built on that old legendary Toyota, the Toyota pickup trucks, the little small ones that were.
Yeah.
That's what's underneath them. That they've got the same frame and the same 2.3 liter 4-cylinder engines and transmissions. Those Previas go forever.
But you'd see those Previas over there with kangaroo catchers on the front of them. And
Yeah, I thought about buying one, but you don't ever see them for sale anymore. If I ever saw them for sale,
like I said, my best friend and his wife had one, and I told Chris, I said, I'll help you pay for the shipping back if you'll buy one, and let's put it on the front of Sandy's Previa. He said it'd be 1 week, and she'd be the only person in town. And he said within a month you'd see them all over the place. That's it, because that somebody would say, "Oh, that must be the new cool thing to do." In Charlotte. You know, Tundra's trucks have Toyota's trucks apparently have gone down in quality in the last couple of years.
they all have. It ain't just Toyota. Look at Chevrolet. Chevrolet put out all those trucks without the fuel chip on them.
My son's future father-in-law was a mechanic at Chrysler Jeep, and he said 2 things. He said, I asked him, I said, how are the Grand Wagoneers doing? Because I like the look of them. He said,
"Oh my God, that's a money pit."
Yeah, we can't. He said we can't keep them on the lot. He said, but you don't want one. I said, why is that? He said, we're having a lot of problems with them. And he said, I'm thankful that that's not the department that I work in. He says, I don't work on any Jeeps. But he said, he's the one that said that Toyota, their quality is just not what it used to be. They're getting slouchy because Americans, he said, because the Americans will buy anything. What was it, the big SUV that Toyota made? It wasn't the Sequoia. It's like the Sequoia, but it was
The Sequoia is the biggest.
Well, there used to be another one. It was like this rough and tumble. It was like $100,000.
Oh, the Land Cruiser.
Yeah. There's a guy down the street's got one, and it's got like 600,000 miles on the original engine.
Yeah. Silver and gold have been going down, but not as far down as the stock market. So I guess that's what's
that look like?
Yeah.
Oh, it's closed today, isn't it?
Silver and gold is open in the European and the Asian markets, but closed in the American markets, just like stock markets closed today.
Yeah, the 24K says the Land Cruiser is the best car in the world. It's supposed to be a really good vehicle if you can afford it. There were some guys in town that used to buy up trucks here and take them up north and sell them. They lived over one street over from us. As soon as their children got old enough to drive, there might be 6 Ford and Chevy trucks going up the interstate headed headed towards Michigan. Oh. So what y'all got planned for the day? Anything?
Gotta get ready for the auction. We take stuff tomorrow because of the holiday, and we'll listen to eBay.
Nah, the cats don't have anything to do with it. Sinuses from the weather. I've got I got Claritin, I got everything, I've even got prescription strength Claritin. But it's like, to me, the prescription Claritin is like, it's an across the counter drug, makes you sleepy. But Claritin prescription makes me sleep. No, the new Ford Broncos are supposed to be crap. Not the little ones, the big ones.
Yes, I was watching somebody last night who was talking about those. If you're going to buy one, you can't buy the Sport. The Sport is the one that's made in Mexico. It's exceptionally awful. The Ford Bronco, the regular one is average quality at best, but the Sport is terrible.
God, we see them everywhere here in town.
I mean, what's going to happen in 4 to 6 months when all these people have spent all this money on these cars that they are $10,000 to $12,000 over asking, and now they're going to be so upside down in these things when the world turns back right side up again at some point.
Well, I was talking to a friend, and his house, the house right beside him, sold 8 months ago for about $150,000 more than the realistic price of houses are. And now that house is now back down to where his house was at. So there's people, I hope they don't have and that's one thing I hope that people don't have clauses that says that if your value drops so much below the mortgage value, they can call in your loan. But there's a lot of people that's upside down on everything. Houses, cars.
Yeah, I read a report that said stock market will probably go down another 9% between now and the end of the year. I'm like, well, depends on what happens in the midterm elections, but it sure could if it doesn't go the right way.
Well, people are scared right now. That's the reason car sales have dropped, houses have dropped, prices have dropped.
Yeah, the 70s we had monster inflation.
Yeah. I remember 18% mortgage.
At the same time, wages went. I remember I first started teaching for like just over 10,000 a year. And my fourth year of teaching, they had my salary up to like 18,000. They were just raising salaries to keep up with inflation. I thought, nah, I'm getting rich. No, I'm not getting rich. It's just things cost more than they did 3 or 4 years. Didn't take long.
Yeah, we've got so many. We've got so many magnet schools coming online in North Carolina now that they're pulling all of the good teachers out of the school systems. So the school systems are having to pay a lot more money to get teachers for the teachers that don't care about if they're making good money, they'll put up with the crap. Because there's about a $7,000 difference between working for public school and working for the charter schools. Well, that's just it. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of businesses close up because the labor shortage. They don't have people to work, so they're not making money. So that's going to change the model of a lot of places. I was asking at the food line where some bread, I mean, not bread, where the frozen French fries were, and they're like, we just can't get them. I said, well, looking at your shelves, you can't get a lot of stuff. He said, no, we've got it back there in the back. We just don't have anybody to put it on the shelves. I said, well, do like Walmart does. Wheel them out there in the middle of the aisles and cut the tops of the boxes off of them and put a sign on price on the side of the boxes and call it a day. He said, we might have to.
You have to get one of them little things and cut your own French fries.
Well, they can't even get potatoes.
Sadie will set them up with potatoes.
Roberta wants to move out to the country so we can have a garden.
Sadie's got warehouses full of potatoes.
Yeah, we have our hospital system here has expanded through like 4 states through mergers and acquisitions, and they're understaffed.
That's true, Mike. Be careful.
Well, you can always go to Walmart. My Walmart's got fries.
So you got a what?
The Walmart's got fries. You can always check online with them.
Yeah, but there's not one convenient to me.
I forget how spoiled we are down here. In 30 minutes, I can get to like 12.
Can you really?
We got one that's 9 miles that way, one that's 7 that way, one that's 8 that way. I mean, they're all about the same, but I always go to the one that out in the country because the tax rate there is only 5% because I don't have to pay Huntsville city taxes.
usually what I do is when I go to Sam's, I pick up a big bag of potatoes and break them up into smaller bags.
Yeah.
So,
Happy Labor Day, Glock.
BSD says 2 hospitals that are a large part of the system closed here. It might be Atlanta. Atlanta announced that at least one of the downtown hospitals is closing, and it serves a huge population downtown.
It might be the one a friend of mine worked at for years. She was a emergency room nurse. I think it started out as Atlanta Memorial or something like that, or Atlanta General. Anyway, she was a nurse there for like 40 years. She became head nurse in the emergency room.
I actually can't believe that we still have Labor Day. I mean, a bunch of the holidays that used to be celebrated are shut down so we can have uh, social aware holidays now.
I just, it's kind of made everybody lazy. I grew up in South Carolina until maybe the 80s. Everything was closed on Sunday. And you had to do all your shopping, Monday through Saturday, because on Sunday there was nothing opened. Now we just feel like we can get in the car and go when we want to.
So we were in Memphis, Tennessee, and Gwen had her fainting spell. That's been more than 2 years ago, and we went to an emergency room there, and they never billed our insurance. And then for 2 years, they've contacted us. Hey, we need to get this settled. Well, sure. After you contact my wife's insurance, we'll take care of that. And they still haven't. I'm like, good God.
So, is everybody else having the same problem they are here as they have got less employees? Lots of things are closed on Mondays here. A lot of restaurants are not open on Mondays here.
Yeah, we got a restaurant here that's only open for breakfast and lunch. In fact, we have 2 restaurants here like that.
I have a buddy, his wife, well, he and his wife now, they have a restaurant that only serves breakfast. And they have, Southern breakfast.
Southern Baptist.
Good
And
Lord willing, I don't need credit lag, but there you go.
they open at 4, and at 11 o'clock they're locking the doors.
Yeah, the one I talk about around here, Biscuit Express, they stopped open on Mondays, but they're only open from 4:30. I think they close at 1:30, so they do a little bit of lunch, but not much. But that's what they've always done. That wasn't anything new, but they're just a breakfast and lunch. And
Where is that BSD? Our post office delivers 6 days a week.
ours delivers 7 because I got Walmart delivers Amazon delivers yesterday from the post office.
Wow.
They do mail 6 days a week, and they do Amazon 7 days a week.
I honestly think that if they delivered mail that Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we'd be just fine.
Yeah, if they got rid of all that damn junk mail.
Well, see, that's just it. If they went to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I think a lot of that junk mail would end because they'd have to really they would, like, for around here, our grocery stores start their new week, their sales week on Wednesday. So,
Felix, if old boy would be waiting for me to come buy a liver sandwich, he would go broke.
That sounds nasty.
What's that?
Liver sandwich.
You don't like liver mush?
I don't like liver.
You know, there's not too much unless it's slimy or like boiled okra or it's crawling. I'll pretty much try it.
And Joni had lost her mind yesterday. She comes in the living room yesterday morning and she says, "Do you want me to make sausage and gravy biscuits?" You don't even have to ask that damn question. Just start making them. I'm always in for sausage and gravy biscuits. And it's not like, you go to a lot of these restaurants down here now and it's gravy biscuits. Where's the fucking sausage? It's sausage gravy or nothing.
Yeah.
I don't want gerbil sausage. I don't want something you grew in a lab and it's almost sausage. I want the real thing. Make it the hot one and let's.
Oh, Mr. Sadie, you just got dropped from the wheel. You only use chicken livers for catfish bait. I love fried chicken livers.
That's very interesting. Felix says liver costs more than a steak there. That's very interesting.
Where did you live at?
Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've had some Circle K's close because of they close like 5 or 6 because they don't have the staff.
I bet Felix is not getting sausage gravy in a restaurant. They don't. The Muslims don't eat pork, do they?
I don't think so.
I believe. Felix, do Muslims eat pork? I guess I could Google
it. Yeah, I think it also depends on where you live at.
Yeah, BSD. I've heard that even before Rodney Dangerfield used it.
It's prohibited in there's quite a few verses in the Quran that prohibit.
We're going to heaven hog free. There you go.
If you also, I believe in the Bible too, it talks about not eating pork.
Yeah.
Well, back when those the biblical laws came out in the Old Testament, there was a lot greater chance of disease from eating pork than the type of controls we have on. We got the USDA looking out for us here.
I am not. I'm not prepared to live the rest of my life without bacon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped bacon is just good.
So Harlan comes over at 6:30 Saturday morning to go to yard sales. When I go outside, I was gonna clean up the van because it was a mess. It's like 6:20. He's already here. I'm like, dude, you're never early. He goes, I'll put in some extra time and he threw a bag at me. He goes, you want this biscuit? Biscuit Express, bacon, egg, and cheese covered in bacon. I'm like, that's a dumb question. You're damn right. I want this biscuit. It
Turkey
was just
bacon.
Oh, that ain't bacon. Shut the hell up.
Tastes like chicken.
See, I'm not really too big on lamb. 24K says not pork, it's beef
Camel
or lamb.
bacon.
I'm just not that big into to lamb.
Camel bacon.
Let me tell you what. When we went to Australia, we went to this barbecue, and there's supposed to have been like 40 people there, and it only ended up being us 4 plus the staff, because the people that were supposed to meet us their bus broke down somewhere between Alice Springs and Ayers Rock. Anyway, they brought out a sampler plate, and it had kangaroo and emu and camel and all this stuff on it, for you to try.
So kosher and halal are the same. Interesting. Yeah, I got a friend who he raised cattle. He lived in your neck of the woods, Tom. He lived over in What's that little town in South Carolina, right below the line?
Rock
Anyway,
Hill, Fort Mill, Lancaster.
hold on, I'll look it up. But his butcher was certified halal, so, so he would have to prepare the cattle different whether for who his customer was.
I just want it to be humane.
Yeah, he lives in Montana now, but what's the name of that little town?
Chesterfield.
Uh, Cowpens, South
Oh
Carolina.
yeah. Okay, I know what Calpins is at.
I mean, all I can think of is Gaffney. I'm like, I know Gaffney's not right. It's Cowpens.
Gaffney is starting to grow up. It won't be too much longer before it's just one continuous city between Charlotte and Atlanta. Good morning, Maggie.
And I can't stand Interstate 85. That's one of the worst interstates in the South.
And it's constantly under construction and getting ready to start another 2-year project on 85.
Between
Widen it out.
between the South Carolina line and Charlotte, it's just incredibly awful.
I love those things, Mr. Sadie.
Yeah.
I could eat my weight in those things.
Y'all keep talking about pork chops. I'm gonna have to get Johnny to cook pork chops tonight.
I had pork chops yesterday. Actually, I had a bunch of pork chops I was gonna cook, and then Roberta said she wanted something for Outback. I mean, from Longhorn. And so I said, place you an order and I'll go pick it up. Well, I picked up her order and I didn't look at it. When I got home, I was going through it and there was everything was for this guy named Josh. So she called and the manager said, just come back out here. He would have another order ready by the time we got out here. I got out there. And she said, what do you want to do with the other one? And he said, just keep it. There was a $28 steak in that bag. And guess what? I ate that damn thing.
But they were just gonna throw it away because once it leaves their possession, they can't. You know what I mean? They can't control. You could have been some kind of psycho killer and poisoned it or something.
Well, I ate that damn thing.
Mudfish could have done something to it. Your alter ego Mudfish.
Yeah.
Ho-hos. God, I was raised on Little Debbie.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the skit on YouTube where Will Ferrell is dressed up as Little Debbie and he's on, what's his name? It's one of the late night hosts. It's one of the young ones. Anyway, he's on there and he's supposed to be the new face of Little Debbie. And it's pretty cute. And he looks like Little Debbie, a big, tall Little Debbie. I think the cricket is my house now.
Bye, Cyber. He's going to labor on Labor Day. I'll probably make some listings.
So you're gonna make me watch?
What's with the costume? What's up? What's with the? You mean the stress?
He's on. He's on.
Jimmy
late
Fallon?
night. Yeah, with Fallon as dressed up as a Little Debbie. Oh my God, that's gonna be funny.
He's he can do some really good stuff, and then like all of them, they do some really bad stuff.
Man,
I was watching,
there was nothing like a. I worked a long time at McDonald's, Mike. There was nothing like a just come out the damn grease, fried apple pie, and then hit it with ice cream. Bomb.
see, I always
Yeah.
liked the cherry pies better than I did the apple pies.
I burned my tongue so many times on apple pie fillings from McDonald's.
Yeah, I think somebody.
You couldn't wait. It just smelled so good, you know.
I
And
think
it was,
Popeyes still carries a very similar one. It might have a little cinnamon sugar, but it's very Popeyes chicken still sells an apple pie that's very similar to that one.
the filling on those McDonald's one were always like nuclear hot, you know, when you got them.
Because we were always running out of them, so you just serve them hot. They're supposed to let them wait like 10 or 15 minutes, but you never had that kind of time because they wanted their damn good luck.
When we went to Russia, we connected through London. So while we were there, we went into all those gift shops they had at Heathrow, and bought all these cookies and cakes and things like that we saw watching British TV, and people, they would always go nuts over. So we had to buy some to try them out. They're okay.
Oh my God, you can find quality street candy on Amazon, but damn, they're expensive. $30 and $40 a can.
Is that what they make gelatin out of? Pork
Yep.
bones?
Yep.
Well, they do crush it up to a powder and then mix it or something. I don't know.
Secret recipe. Speaking of secret recipes, and it's not a secret recipe, has anybody seen this show on Netflix called Founder, or a movie called Founder? It's about McDonald's. Always thought that it was an amiable buyout of was it Koch?
There's the McDonald's brothers.
The McDonald brothers founded it, and they came up with the system. But the guy that ended up, was the president. He made McDonald's what it is. What's his name?
Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc.
He was an asshole.
Oh yeah.
Allegedly, based on the series. I mean the movie. Okay, before Todd gets sued. Allegedly, the movie implied that he was a real asshole. But that was good. I mean, it was if the part about them designing the kitchen in for the first McDonald's is true, that's really interesting. Y'all ought to watch it if you haven't watched it. But he was a bit of a psycho too. So, but anyway, just saying.
Yeah, there are problems all around with that because the McDonald brothers didn't get along half the time either. You know,
Yeah.
one of them wanted to change things, and the other one didn't.
Yeah, I like all of those. Blank Meat built America, and there's one that has Rockefeller and Vanderbilt and whatnot. And people talk about, which they were real bastards back in them days. But the thing about it is, there's a lot of stuff that they did. If they weren't infighting and arguing and battling for each other's, and we wouldn't have a lot of stuff that we have because it forced them to come up with ideas. One of the things that came out of that was so amazing to me was all the gasoline that was produced as a byproduct of kerosene just spilt out on the ground. They just flushed it out into the ground or into the river. And when Ford came out with the Model T, that redirected him into use Rockefeller into using the
Yeah, so John Jones talking about, or I think it was John. Fascinating watching the Foods That Built America. Those series are very interesting, and it's very interesting how you think Hershey's, Hershey's biggest competitor is Reese's. The guy who had started Reese's was had the idea, brought it to Hershey. Hershey told him he was crazy. He did it on his own.
yeah. Well, that's
Uh,
that's like Lamborghini, the tractor manufacturer. He went to the Ferrari people and said,
yeah,
"Here's what I'm talking about cars," and he went back, and the guy from Ferrari said, "You stick to making tractors, and I'll make cars." And what did he do? He went out and built Lamborghini.
John's 100% right. How many people fail? There aren't. I can't think of too many people who didn't fail on their way to success. It's that willingness to try things and to experiment, and that entrepreneurial spirit of doing things. Everything's not going to go your way, and it's how you adapt and overcome a lot of the problems these guys. People give Model T, the Ford credit. Oh, Ford Henry Ford invented the production line. No, he did not. He perfected the production line for automobiles. I believe it was Reese's or Hershey or something. One of those candy guys came up with the production line.
Well,
You
with
know,
Ray Kroc, he failed on so many things, or they didn't take off like he thought. He apparently was making some good money off of some of these other ideas he had. But
I mean,
when he got hold of, he saw how the McDonald's brothers were doing their hamburgers and how they were running their business. He jumped on the bandwagon, and that's what made him a billionaire, and that's what created this.
and they were crazy. Some of them were just straight crazy. If you look at the story of Colonel Sanders,
Yeah.
that dude was crazy as shit. He killed somebody, one of his competitors, and got off of it.
dang. Yeah, I remember when he sold out for like 7 million. That was a
Yeah.
lot of money back when he sold out.
Yeah. But according to this movie, he was he on a handshake. The McDonald brothers were supposed to get royalties. They never saw the royalties. So remember that. If you're doing a deal, there's no fucking handshaking. Get it on paper or don't do the deal.
That's right.
You can't trust people. Todd still owes me $237,000 that I loaned him to buy some gold with, and I hadn't got paid for yet.
Well, you shook on it.
That's right.
I told you I'd pay you back in 50 years. Come on. You're a little impatient.
Well, 50 years from now, Todd, I'm going to be saying, Todd, where's my damn money at? Because the way people are living, because we'll only be 50 years from now, we'll only be about 118 years old.
That's right.
And the way they're going now, lots of people are living to be 105. But I tell you, I don't want to be one of these people that is 105 years old and basically a living vegetable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, go back. Look at the history of Edison, Mr. Edison and Tesla, and Edison was not the straight up person that people try to remember him. Oh, he invented the light bulb. He's credited with inventing the light bulb. He was a lot of those guys. You look back on them, they're called entrepreneurs, but a lot of them are assholes. Edison was an asshole. They held grudges, and I mean, these are some stuff that they would never get away with today because social media today would just bury these people.
Or they would bury people, and they did. The Men That Built America, that series there were so many grudges between these millionaires is what pushed America forward. I mean, allegedly, according to the series, one of the guys he perfected the steel beam process, and that caused us to be able to build high rises. And the reason they developed the steel process was they needed to build a bridge across the Mississippi or the Ohio or something.
It was a bridge, yep.
And once they got that bridge, they controlled the trains because they had to pay a fee every time they crossed their bridge. But they were ruthless bastards. But given all of that, they still pushed America forward in a way that if they didn't have their old grudges, it might have been 20 years later before somebody had the idea. I mean, it's like the virtual world that's coming around. They're always talking about, which is not doing too good these days. That's been around a long time. And now they're making a big to-do out of it. And they're learning from what these other people did a long time ago that once the new wears off, it's let's start just where somebody else's when you really look into them. Yeah. Somebody took an idea that somebody else came up with, and they have the resources to develop it. But it's it's what made America, and a lot of times it helped make the world. So anyway, that whole electrical deal, though, the war that went on with that between Tesla and we actually use Tesla's model. We don't use Edison's. And General Electric buying up everybody, and then somebody bought him and bought U.S. Steel. Yeah, like Bill Gates. Bill Gates has never created. He did not create Windows. He bought Windows.
And if you think Zuckerberg created Facebook, I got some swampland to say you.
Well, now with Facebook, anybody can create a Facebook now. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's like the tech. What was it during the early 2000s when the .com deal was everywhere. Everybody was getting into .com. And, I was talking to my dad about it one time, and I said, these companies, these .coms don't have anything. They literally don't have anything. So why would you spend millions of dollars investing in a company that has no value that somebody can come along and copy and make better? See, now I'm an AOL person. I used AOL. That was my dial-up of choice. I wish somebody would come up with a AOL interface like they had, where everybody was inside that AOL, and I'm paying $8 a month, and I don't have to look at damn ads, and I can share with friends and all that kind of stuff. Because those damn ads, I can look for something on good, on the internet that I've got one of. Like I had some little girls bathing suits with tags, and I was looking at the brands online, and now on Facebook, at least twice a week in my advertising feed will be little girls bathing suits, which is creepy as hell. But it's bathing suits. Let's don't get out. That guy over in the one that ran off with all the records that's hiding out in Russia. He should have already had been in a car accident.
There you go.
You're supposed to put, and I'll give you 30 minutes to draw 50,000 viewers on YouTube.
And you cannot take a bath for a week. I don't give a fuck.
I just feel like on the next election, there's going to be a lot of, what do you call them? Not inspectors.
If they allow an election to happen, so just think about it. You've got a group of people in power that have committed a lot of crimes. Overthrowing an elected American presidential election is treason. What happens if you? What is the punishment if you prove these people committed treason? What's the punishment?
Yeah,
fire squad. And you think these people are just going to allow the red wave to happen? They're going to allow the. I have serious doubts whether the election will even happen in November. They'll come up with some excuse. Monkeypox has done attacked us all. They'll be. That's what Joe was setting up the other day, a call to action, demonizing half of the American population, telling the other half that it's okay to attack Republicans. He stood there looking like his best Hitler. He used Marines to try to prove to people he had the military behind him. As he stood up there looking like the only thing that was different between him and a Hitler speech was that Hitler did it in a damn military uniform. You put Biden in a military uniform, and that is a dictator standing up there. Every American should watch that and go, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm. Well, they've been getting a lot of pushback even from Democrats on that little speech.
And then the next day they ask him about it, and he can't remember it. He answers completely different. The next day they ask him about it.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. He actually said that somebody was asking him about what he was. One of the things he said the day before. He says, "I didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Motherfucker, let's play the video back for him." You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's. I mean, we're at one of those turning points in history, and this whole decade is a turning point in history, and what happens and where this country goes.
Well, a lot of the universities are having major problems with money.
And where does all this money go? They have if you look at the rise in inflation and the cost of living from when I was in college in the late 80s until now, the price of tuition and all these colleges has outpaced the cost of living and inflation dramatically. And, we've convinced everybody they've got to go to college in order to be successful. And, and you're putting everybody in debt up to their eyeballs. It's the last 20 years. People need to wake up and realize who you listen to.
When my fat ass is sweating because my air conditioner doesn't work, I don't care about anything except getting my air conditioning fixed. And there's a shortage of air conditioning people now,
Did you see and So Colorado had the power company out there had this great idea that if you'll allow us to install one of these digital thermostats, you know, and we're going to give you a break on your power bill.
They got $100 credit each year.
Last week, the fine print came up, and they go, we're experiencing a power emergency, heavy demand, heat wave. Their thermostats were locked at 78 degrees. That was as low as it could go.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video where this guy took a claw hammer and snatched it off the wall and put one of the little ones that you just twist the knobs on.
Yep.
You know, it's probably going to be
red. And for those of you who don't know, take the front of it off, jump the red and yellow wires together, the RC and the forget what the other one is, and it manually brings your AC on. Some things you need to learn, folks.
Todd makes a lot of money. Todd makes a lot of money off of YouTube.
Yeah, last time I looked, it was up to $26.
You are rich.
Yeah, I got monetized April 1st.
In a couple more years, you'll be able to afford a new lawnmower.
But you know, last year, what was it? Last winter, Texas froze up. Nobody had power because of all this windmills and crap had frozen up.
I'll keep listening to these idiots. The same people that told you that you're going to buy electric cars by 2035 in California, we're not going to sell ice cars anymore. 3 days later, told you couldn't charge them damn electric cars because they didn't have enough power support for what they were going. Understand what I mean? This is so idiotic. The people don't pay attention. One day they tell you this, the next day you go, well, you're not really going to be able to use them. How ignorant do you have to be? I mean, this push to buy electric cars. If you want an electric car, go buy one. I don't care. Do whatever you want to with your money. But I'm telling you right now, the United States of America was energy independent 2 years ago. And in 2024, it won't take very long to be energy independent again. And as everything that has been done can be undone because nothing has gone through Congress. Everything's been done by a bomb in the basement.
Right. John, when you bought the house, were you able to get rid of her thermostat? He said John Jones says the lady who owned the house before us sold control of her thermostat to the power company for $50.
Yeah, you didn't sign that contract. The hell with her.
People. It's.
They make a big deal out of that lag. The oil that we buy from Russia is less than 5% of what we use. And if we finish pipelines and start drilling again, that 5% goes away. We don't need any of that. What country has the most oil under its land in the world? The United States of America. We have more oil underground than any other country. Any.
See, and people don't realize that, like along Horry County, South Carolina, there's not an oil well nowhere down there. Yet there are test wells that were drilled. And my grandmother, when she was alive, said that, her cousins, her family lived nearby one of them, and they remembered it, the oil well exploding. You know how it gushes out the top. South Carolina sitting on all kinds of oil that's never been tapped, and probably 90% of the people in America do not realize it's down there.
So I just Googled it for you, Felix. Possible and undiscovered. The United States is at the top of the list with 264 billion barrels of recoverable oil reserves. Russia 256 and Saudi Arabia with 212. Then Canada, Iran, and Brazil. I'm telling you right now, there's more oil in this country than anywhere in the world.
No, I like the Tesla. I rode in one over the weekend. I
Oh,
like.
they are neat technology. I like
They
the car.
ride good. They're quiet except for the road noise from the tires. They've just got to figure out how to get that charging problem straightened out, and that is a problem. It needs to be self-contained, a self-contained charging system on there.
Felix, it's been like that for quite a while. When it's so obvious, they won't hide it. I don't know why Google's not hiding that, because they shouldn't make it so easy to find the truth. Do you think they want their normies understanding that? And then if you start Googling and start really understanding the pollution and stuff, these small cycle engines do way more damage than automobiles. Todd over the
Mine
weekend,
does.
Todd over the weekend polluted way more than, because all these lawnmowers and stuff have no pollution controls on them whatsoever. You want to do something that's actually good for a change. Those are the things you eliminate. You don't go to California and got one nuclear plant left. You're struggling. You can't produce power, and nuclear is some of the cleanest energy that we have. And what do they want to do? Shut their last plant down because there are a bunch of idiots out there.
I was watching this thing over the weekend, and they were talking about, there's a bunch of environmental people, and one of the guys said, we need to be concerned about our emissions. That's a get-go. It's going to come back to bite us on the ass. It might be a million years from now, but it eventually will be a problem. He said, but if we melted the polar, everybody's concerned about the poles melting. He said, if it's been calculated that if both poles melted, that the water level would come up to the statue. The Statue of Liberty's holding a plaque or something in her arms. It would come up to her elbow there. Now he said, now mind you, New York would be underwater. England would probably be underwater, but there's a lot of there's still a lot of land that would not be affected by it. He said, so we need to, it's not like the whole we're going to become water world if all the polar caps melt.
See, Felix, now you're correct. I didn't say that we had the cheapest way to get oil out. I said we had more there. Some of it's unrecoverable. Some of it is just cost too much to get. But you're correct. With fracking and everything we have to do to get ours out, it would be a little more expensive.
That's right. I gotta go look at that video.
You gotta watch the video. I mean, it looks like.
Does it look like a 70s? Back in you don't remember the 60s and 70s when they would, along the coast, they would spray for mosquitoes, and the trucks would just drive down the road and big fish coming out the back, and then there'd be 100 children playing in that shit.
No.
Dang, Todd.
It was a lot like that.
There you go.
Damn, Todd. You sure that thing went on fire? Okay. Everybody needs to go see that so we can make it go viral.
All right. Yeah, everybody share that.
Everybody needs to share that now.
So that was viral. That's an awesome video.
It's our friend Todd.
Jody comes in there and she's like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching my buddy Todd destroying the environment.
He's too cheap to go get a new lawnmower.
No, it wasn't that. I just put too much oil in it.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought maybe it had blown a seal or something.
No. It's
But that's another thing. I had a neighbor that used to live next door. He did small engine repair business. He said, 80% of the time you can go buy a new one cheaper than it'll cost me to get the parts and fix it.
Yeah.
And he said, so about once a month, he was taking all this old stuff. He'd break it down and take it to the recycling center because people didn't want to come back and get it. Todd, it's a good thing that the girls are not on here because they'd be giving you hell.
And Felix, you got to watch closer to the end whenever the grass he's mowing gets smaller and smaller, and he's making tighter circles. All the smoke is really, it gets thicker as he goes around. The smoke gets thicker and thicker because it never stops coming out. His circles just get smaller, and there are some points where you can barely see it. If the lawnmower wasn't pushing out the smoke, and you wouldn't even know where it is because you can see the smoke through it.
Yeah, Todd's a romantic, Mr. Sadie.
Yeah, I'm just stubborn. I mean, once it started smoking, I'm like, I'm going to finish it because this mower could stop running.
At one point in there, he knocked a brick over. I'm like, how can you even hardly see a brick with all this smoke?
I'm going to go. I have to go look at it. And it's 11:52. I got to get out of here. I got some stuff I got to do for the boss lady.
I got to eat breakfast.
Do what?
I got to make breakfast.
I'd like to have some breakfast. Like to have some. You talking about biscuits and bacon a while ago. I'd like to have biscuits and bacon.
There was so much smoke. I was mowing my 3 doors down neighbor's yard.
Mr. Sadie thought you were trying to spell out words for planes.
Yeah. Well, Scott, that is Todd's version of Nikki and her soup.
Those neighbors that came over and were looking at me, I went over there after I finished, and the one got out his drone, and he was saying, listen, next time you mow, you tell me because I want to fly my drone up and get video of it.
That would be awesome.
Can you imagine? I wonder what that looked like from a satellite, if you could see.
It looked like the whole state of Texas disappeared.
I'm surprised that some of your environmental neighbors didn't come over. They're raising hell out.
Oh, we don't.
Karens, a covey of Karens didn't come over there.
He still lives in the free state of Texas. I don't think they care too much.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that lives in our town would say much.
Yeah, they realize he's just burning oil. They need to go dig some more up down there in Texas.
Well, all he's got to do is go out there in the backyard and turn that pump on and pump him out some more gallons, because everybody in Texas has got an oil well in their backyard.
Yeah, the oil I burned up running my lawnmower, I could probably run my car for a couple of weeks.
They couldn't find him. Yeah, he's like a secret agent, like James Bond hits that button on his dashboard and the smoke comes out. That's what Todd
smoke screen. Yeah. That's what I felt like, James Bond behind a mower.
No, once Todd,
you're supposed to have smoke come out behind you, not in your face.
I know.
Once Todd cuts this off, he ends to say he's going, I hate those bastards. All of them. The ones that was in the chat with me and the ones that was in the audience, he says, I hate them all.
You got to realize Todd wanted the attention or he wouldn't have published the video.
Yeah. He's like, Todd's getting to be like those girls, those girls always like taking pictures, posting them, putting their makeup on.
That's Todd's version of wearing a tight outfit to get attention.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you, Johnny? Are you looking at her? I'm like, if she didn't wear it so tight, she wouldn't want me to look at it. Yeah. Todd would not want us to watch him and make fun of him if he didn't.
If he was truly embarrassed about it, he wouldn't have said anything about it.
I thought
until the 15-year-old boy down the street put it up on TikTok.
I thought it was awesome. I love that video.
I'm gonna go look at it. I'm gonna share it out on my.
The best part is as he's mowing, he never starts talking. He never stops talking, but he just his commentary goes all the way through it. Even though
well, it was just I was you know, making fun of myself and making fun of. I mean, I was just enjoying it. It was funny.
Okay. Well, everybody share it out. Go look at it and just share it on Facebook and let's make it go viral for him.
Yeah, anybody in your life that's an environmentalist, make sure you send that to them.
That's right. All the tree huggers and everything. All right. I got to go.
Yeah,
Todd,
Or
thanks for
YouTube
having the
would
show
shut that
today.
down.
Yeah, you've got 2 hours of views today.
All right.
And I think everybody, at least a dozen of them, have been on the whole time. So anyway,
Thank you for coming.
I enjoyed it.
All right. Are we on your channel tomorrow, Tom?
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll see if I can come up with some crazy shit.
I'll see you on Wednesday. Tomorrow I have to go to the auction.
All right. You
All
setting
right.
up? You setting up for the auction?
Yeah, it's the one we normally do on Monday mornings, but it's a holiday today, so we're going tomorrow.
So Queen City's Queen City's channel tomorrow and Scott's channel on Wednesday. So I don't know who's going to do Thursday yet, but we'll get something going. Thanks for coming.
All righty. Bye.
Happy holidays.